Okay, let's start. In JavaScript, there is one very fundamental concept which is called DOM, document object model. Hello guys, are all of you are with me? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so okay, good. So the DOM model, document object model, like a family. Let me explain like a family structure. So you see, if we have let's suppose one family which have a grandparents and then parents and then they have child and they have grandchild. So you see, if you think like one family, a big type of family. So here in this family, every individual, if you want to know, or if you want to recognize some individual, let's suppose if you want to recognize this guy, okay, this guy. So normally how we are recognizing people among family. So the answer is that every person in our family has a unique name, right? Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Yeah, so okay, good. You little bit respond to me, then I will I will understand that you people are with me. Okay, so in a house or in a family, every person has a unique name. So therefore, actually, if you call that specific name, let's suppose like Mariam, okay. So Mariam will be one specific lady in one family. In other family, maybe yes, the same name will be repeated. But in one family, okay, in one family, the same name cannot be repeated. Like for example, your metric number is unique in Unimas, so your metric number cannot be repeated. Okay, so my point is that actually, just like a family in a family, every person has a unique name, and like you in a university, you have a unique metric number. In a web page, in one screen only. I'm talking about one page. One page means like one screen. You see, like currently the slide which is shown to you, this is one page only. I'm not talking about many pages. So in one page, there are different objects. Like in this case, you see like a grandparents and parents. So when we display a page, when we design a page, actually in that web page there are many contents. Okay, and each content have its own unique name or unique ID. Then we can reach to that unique component using document object model. Okay, so the summary is that like a family, like a human society, every person has some unique name. Like in a country, your ID number, your ID card number, your nationality number is a unique name. No other person in the whole country has that number. So in the same way, inside a web page, every content, every object has a unique ID. For example, there will be image, there will be a table, there will be form, there will be buttons. So many things will be in one page. But if you want to differentiate each other uniquely, then you will have to give a specific name or specific ID. So using specific name and using specific ID, we can recognize and we can differentiate. We can differentiate objects from one another. So this concept is called document object model in JavaScript. Okay, so like in this case, you see, if let's suppose we have a web page. So the first of all, the grandparent will be HTML. Okay, because within HTML, then after that heading comes in, and after heading title comes in. So then a heading is like a one branch, and then body, and inside body all the content comes now here. So let's suppose if a body has h1 and p1 and unordered list, and inside unordered list we have list item. So you see, it's exactly like a family. So the list item has a parent ul, the ul has a parent body, the body has a parent HTML. So actually, for the li, the HTML is a grandfather. Yeah, grandfather. Okay, so actually they are linked to each other, and if we give a unique name and unique ID, then we can reach out, we can access individual item in the web page using document object model. Okay, so how it is possible and what to do. Okay, oh, one point more. This one, that each object, okay, by object I mean that like h1, the p, the unordered list, the title. Okay, all these things in JavaScript, everything is object. Even the numbers, the variable that we are using, integer, float, double, even that is also object. Okay, so there are three different type of objects, and each object in JavaScript is represented by node. Okay, node. So so we can say like there are three different type of nodes. Okay, one is element node. So for example, element like h1, p, ul. So this is element. So element means HTML tag. Okay, HTML tag like h1 title. Okay, so there is element node. The second one is attribute node. Okay, attribute is within HTML tag we apply some extra property. The extra property is called attribute. Okay, so here in this case, for example, you see ul is element node, but the ID is an attribute node. Okay. Okay, next one is a text node. Text node is the last terminal node mostly. For example, in case of ul, the ul has children li, and each li has a text. So that is a text node. Like in case of title, the word title is element node. Okay, and the text of the title is a text node. So the element node is represented by one. Its value is one, and attribute node value is two, and text node has a value three. So in this way, all the we can reach out and we can find out the elements and its type. Okay, so there are different ways how to reach to different elements inside our page. So I think it will be better to show you through uh, what is called through a demo. Yeah, this one. Okay, inside this folder, let's create HTML file. Okay, yes, HTML file. So this HTML file, let's suppose I give a name dom.html. Okay, dom.html. Let's remove this one. Okay, Now, in this dom.html, I want to create just a very basic HTML page. So last time I told you, if you remember, if when you type in Visual Studio Code HTML, and you will have this option, so HTML:5. If you select this one and press tab, you will get the whole tablet. Okay, so this is an easy way to get the whole tablet. So you see here, these are the nodes in this web page. So you see the first node, okay, start from HTML. Okay, this one is the same node. Then after that, the heading is another node. Okay, and then the meta, then all these, the title is another node. Okay, but the text inside the title is another node. So then body, then inside body we can add as many other nodes as we want. Okay, so let's I'm trying to show you the document object model. So let's just simply add simple things. For example, h1. Okay, and in this h1, okay, so the point is that whenever you are designing a HTML page, try to give unique name and either name or ID. It's up to you. Okay, so for example, here if I give ID equal to, so you can give any ID that you want. Okay, for example, my h1. If I simply give like this, so why I'm giving this ID? Because later on in JavaScript code, if I want to access this individual component, then I can go through the ID like unique name, like your metric number. Okay, so let's suppose this one is a hello world. Okay, so this is one node in the page, and the node has, you see, this has actually all the three type of node. The h1 is element node, the ID is attribute node, and the text of the h1 is a text node. Okay, so in this way you can add as many nodes as you want. So let's suppose add a quick another one, form. Okay, so form, and let's give the name or ID. You can give both also. You can give one also. For example, my form. Okay, this is ID. You can give a name also. Name equal to my form. Okay, so this is a form, and inside form, you know that there are different input fields. Okay, it may be text box, radio box, anything that you want. Okay, it's up to you. So let's suppose just give a label first. Okay, label, and this label is far. In this new HTML5 label, you can link a label with some field. So you see label, and this is forward. Let's suppose this is for first name. Okay, so later on we will create, okay, the first name field, first name. Okay, and after this we are creating the input field. Okay, input type equal to text. Okay, because we want to create an input text field. And here we can give again ID equal to maybe first name. Okay, and name equal to again maybe first name. You can the name and the ID may be same. Okay, but it is not possible that another item have the same ID and the same name. One item, one tag may have the same name and the same ID. Okay, it's not an issue. Okay, and then maybe value you can give here from for example, default value or default text. It's up to you. Default text means that it will be displayed there. Okay, and this one should be closed, and then just to have a new line, so we can give a BR tag. Okay, next one, I think I should repeat the same thing for password to save time. Okay, so this one should be password. We can actually create many yeah, password, or maybe let's suppose last name. Okay, so this one should be last name. Okay, so this one ID is a last name is also last name. Okay, and then this one completed. Okay, after this, let's suppose we include one button. Okay, input type equal to button, and maybe submit. You see all these are the different options. So you can create a button also, you can create a submit also. Submit by default is a button. Okay, so type equal to submit, and value equal to, value is the text which will be displayed over the button. Value equal to, you can give any value, for example save or submit or anything that you want. Okay, so save this one. If you want to see the output of this page, okay, one thing I will share another point with you. If you want to quickly display this page in your browser, there is one extension which is live server. Okay, a live server, you can install this one. You see this one, yeah. If you install, I already have. Okay, so if you install this one, then you can easily run the code from here. I should have it, right? Okay, let's run like this in a default browser. Oh, something is wrong. First name, label for, oh sorry, I think I didn't change the level value. Okay, the next one is this one. This is the mistake. Label for last name, and then last name and all this. Okay, yes, save. Check again, refresh. Yeah, now it's okay. If you see here, maybe I think I should not give the value at this moment. Okay, this is should be blank, and this should also be blank. Okay, then let's see again, refresh it. Yeah, okay, so the point of creating this page is that you see in this web page we have a few objects, few different objects, like h1 is one object, then the input tag, the label, the buttons, all these things. So using JavaScript, how we can reach, how we can access to these individual items. Okay, so if we want to use JavaScript, let's create one JavaScript. Let me give to this one the same name, dom.js. Okay, dom.js. So in this dom.js, I will create a few coding that I want to access the object which is displayed in my page. Okay, so for example, here you can create any variable where my heading. So first of all, I want to reach to access the heading. Okay, my heading where my heading equal to. Now you have two options if you want to access any object in the web page through ID or through by name. Okay, so if you look at your look at our web page, so this if I want to access, you see this h1, so I have only one option now because I have only ID. I didn't give any name to this, so the best way to access this one using by ID. So document that get element by ID. Okay, because why I'm using this, because I have only this option, I have only given ID. Okay, so the ID of this is what you can maybe copy, or maybe you can, if you remember it. Okay, so this one, yeah, after you see after this statement you actually have a link access to this h1, and that reference is stored in this variable. So using this variable you can apply as many different properties and different operations on this one, as many operations as you want. For example, if I want to change its background color, okay, then my heading, okay, my heading dot style. Okay, so after style you can apply different background color. For example, background color. Okay, and you can define any color that you want. Okay, background color equal to, it's up to you which one you want. Okay, and in typing the red is easy to type. Okay, now let's link this this JavaScript file with the HTML file. Okay, to link this one we need to use, yeah, we should use at the end of the body tag. Last time we discussed that JavaScript has higher priority, so it should be at the script. Okay, so src equal to dom.js, because only this one we have, and then close it. Okay, so this one is already connected. Now let's check the web page. You see the background color of this heading change because of the JavaScript, and we access this JavaScript, this tag through ID, and after that we can change any option. For example, let's suppose green. Okay, now you change to green, save it. Okay, check again. Now change to green. You can apply as many operations as you want. For example, if you want to change the color of the text, then my heading that style, okay, and that color equal to what color you want. You can define also by the RGB value, but maybe let's suppose yellow. Okay, so save it and then check again. So you see the black color text hello world will be changed to yellow. Okay, so my point is that using JavaScript document object model, we can access a visual item of the page. Okay, so this is one way that we can access the, yeah. Actually, we can apply many things, but I want to simplify it. You see, for example, if you want to apply some alignment, then my heading that style that text align equal to, you can give anyone that for example, let's suppose center. Save it and check again. So this time you see that it's changed to this one. Okay, so this is one way to access HTML objects through JavaScript and apply different properties on there. Maybe change the text, maybe change the background color. So different operations you can apply on this. Okay, in the same way, if you want to access the form fields, okay, let's suppose access the form field, we can access that one also. So for example, where, okay, you can give any name. For example, first name, where first name. So now I want to access the first name field, and then I want to access its values. So I can again, I have two options. I can access through ID also, and I can access through by name also. For example, if I want to access through ID, so then document get element by ID. Okay, and in a bracket, in a double quotation or single quotation, you can give the ID. So let's check what's the ID of the first name. The ID is f name. So you just give this one. Okay, now after this statement, when this statement runs, then you have access to this field, and that access is saved for you in the first name. Okay, so now you can apply here again different values. For example, f name. Okay, so f name dot value. Okay, f name dot value equal to, you can give any name. Let's suppose my name. Okay, so you see this of f name has different properties. It has a value, it has ID, it has name. So all the attributes you can apply now exactly through JavaScript. Okay, so if we go to the page, so you see here is nothing displayed at the beginning, but if I refresh, you see my name is displayed. Why? Because I access the field using its ID and then apply the value. Okay, the same thing I can access through name name also. For example, if var f name, okay, f name equal to, now what I want to access, document. Inside the document, okay, document dot. So you see the name should be unique, document dot. So if you check its name is what, you see f name is again name. Okay, so document dot f name. So you see in this way also I can reach to the same field. Let's suppose this time change the value. Okay, let me comment this one first, save it and refresh it, then there will be no value here displayed. Okay, now let's give a value through the same sorry, so here let's suppose new value via name. Okay, so save it and refresh. Some issue. F name that value should be the same. Oh, no, no, no. One point, I think I have a mistake. You see, it should be like this. That inside the document there is a form, and inside the form is f name. So I think it should be like this. Let's try like this. Document. So the form name is what? The form name is my form. Okay, my form. Document dot my form dot f name. Okay, so in this way we can have access to this, and then f name dot value equal to this. Now let's try again. Yeah, you see, in this way it's what. So the point is that there is a hierarchy actually. Okay, the hierarchy is like this, like HTML, then body, then you see inside the body you can access anyone directly. But if there is a child parent relationship, like the form is a parent for the input field, then you cannot go directly like document dot f name. No, you cannot skip the parent in the middle. So document dot my form dot f name, so you can reach. Okay, so this is the way to access through name. You see that if you are trying to access through name, then you will go through the whole hierarchy like this. But if you don't care of the whole hierarchy, then you simply use id, because id is unique. Okay, let's uncomment this one. Id is unique. Okay, then no need to care about the hierarchy. Okay, so in this way you can actually apply all the operations. Okay, so hello guys, any confusion, any question until now? If you hmm? Hello, anyone of you, any confusion? Is okay, huh? Okay, so in this way actually you can create a new item also if you want. Okay, but I think we should skip, so because there are many things we cannot cover. So I just give you an idea that using the document object model you can access different objects, and then you can apply different properties on that. But the main thing that you should note, that you can access objects through name, but not about if you are accessing through name, that you will have to go through the hierarchy. Okay, the parent name and then the child, if there is a subchild, then you will go through all that. And if you are using by id, then just directly use the document object element by id. Okay, so in this way you can access. So next, yeah, we already did this, no problem. Oh, I think quickly, if you want to change the content of the heading, yeah. So that one, you see the my heading, because I show you the what is called the element node, the attribute node, but the text node. You see like this one is the element node, this one is the attribute. We are applying different attributes. But if you want to reach out into the until the text node, so you can apply like this, my heading dot inner HTML. The text node you can use by inner HTML. Inner HTML equal to, so here you can give any text that you want. So you can change the existing text. For example, welcome to JavaScript. Okay, semicolon, save this one. If you check, so this one is the third type of node. So you see here the h1 heading is hello world, but if I refresh it will change welcome to JavaScript. Okay, so this one is the third type of node, which is text node. Okay, now let's proceed. I hope there should not be any problem, right? Okay, now there are another concept which is called events. You can apply different events in HTML elements. For example, you can apply unload when the window loads, when something is any content which is clickable, like buttons. So on that you can put events and click. Something is on mouse over and blur and focus. There are many you can apply. Okay, so in the same one, you see, if in the same demo, if I show you here, so there are different ways to apply event. For example, input type equal to submit. So this button, and this button we can apply event. For example, on click. Okay, and click, what should be done. So some event should be done. Actually, so what will be happen? One function will be called, and the function you will call from here. For example, any function name. Let's suppose my function. Okay, my function, and that function will be called. Okay, so you know the point. The same text you will have to copy, meaning to say the same function you will define in JavaScript now. Okay, so let's come to JavaScript. Okay, so event, now function. Okay, and the function name will be this one. Oh, sorry, no semicolon now. Okay, and inside this function you can apply any operation that you want. For example, a simple one, alert. Okay, and so hello. Okay, now save it. If save this one also. Okay, so if I refresh the page, okay, and if I click the save button, so in the event you see it is linked with the event now. What happened? No site directory. The point is that you can apply different events on different nodes. For example, on buttons. So here even on this fields, the input fields, you can apply different events. Okay, so I think I should show you that one in a different one, because I have prepared one full. Yeah, so I think we should go to that one. Okay, there is one another approach also. Let's go to the same one. Okay, this one must be because you see this one should be like a function call. When you are calling a function, so my function bracket parenthesis and then semicolon. So it must be like that. Okay, the other one, the error is actually the page is looking for some page. Okay, you see here DOM first name new value. Yeah, it's looking for some maybe, well, there is something related with it. Yeah, I don't think so, but okay, leave it. the server is looking for some other page. This is why it's changing something. Okay, just leave it. Another, you see, one option is like this: that when you are defining the HTML here, okay, when you are defining the HTML here inside this, you define the event. But there is another option also. Let's suppose remove this one. We are not defining while defining in HTML, but we are giving inside JavaScript. For example, we are creating uh, we try to access, okay, we try to access the button through JavaScript. So if you see here, we should give this button, this submit button, a specific ID. Okay, ID equal to, so that it is accessible to us. ID equal to, you can give any ID, for example sub, like submission. Okay, so now if it has ID, then we can access in JavaScript. So variable any btn, let's suppose a button equal to document get element by ID. Okay, so its ID is, we know that it is sub. Okay, semicolon. Now you see we got access to this variable, and once we got access, now we can actually define any event by this. So btn button dot on click. So here we can actually define any event that we want on click equal to, so you see here on click we specify and we assign the function that we want. Okay, so equal to function, and here inside the parentheses we can do the same thing like alert and define something hello. Okay, so semicolon. But not the point when you are doing in this way. So you see here we are assigning to this button click a function. So this whole text is a sentence. Okay, so if this is one sentence, so here will be a semicolon. Okay, so this is the difference. Save it. Now refresh the page again. Okay, so the same thing, you see. Yeah, this one is because of the server localhost, this. I don't know what's the problem with it. Okay, or maybe I think we didn't give values to this. Remove the value, but I don't think so. It's the reason. Okay, so we were talking about this, that we can create different events, okay, and different and that events we can link with different objects in the HTML page. Okay, there are other types of events also. For example, if you want to call some function on the basis of some time, okay, then you can create another type of event in JavaScript which is called set timeout. Okay, set timeout is will create an event. So what you want to do, what function you want to call, you will have to specify. For example, if I want to specify this function, okay, my function, okay, that this function should be called, okay, but after how many seconds, after how many milliseconds, yeah, so the value is actually millisecond, so you will have to give in like after 2000 millisecond will be 2 seconds. Okay, save it. Okay, and now if you refresh the page, okay, so after 2 seconds, you see after 2 seconds automatically call. Okay, but you see this set timeout will call only one time. So if I refresh again, you see after 2 seconds, 1 2, yeah, it will call again. This is another type of event in JavaScript. Okay, sometimes if you want to continuously check up something, for example, you have, I hope you have realized this thing, that in some website, if you log in, even for example in Elip, if you log in and you become inactive for a long time, then later when you come to the Elip again, then you will be automatically log out. So if you want to check some user continuously, let's suppose that after 5 times or 7 times, yeah, then you will be, you can check a user duration continuously, and on the basis of that duration you can automatically log out the user if the user is inactive. So that is another type of event which is called a set interval. Okay, a set interval is such an event which actually will repeat again and again and again on the basis of the time that you have specified. For example, set interval. Okay, so interval works. I should not type like this, I don't like this. Set interval, okay, this syntax. Okay, so in this set interval you can define, you can call a function. So in this case I'm again calling the same function, okay, but you can actually define a specific function which check the user activity, and after that automatically log out the user. So after how many times? Let's suppose after 3 seconds, every 3 seconds, okay, it should call and call the function. So it will be repeated again and again. Okay, let me check. That's 1 2 3, yeah. So you see if I click OK, again it will, you see it will repeat again after 3 seconds, again after 3 seconds, again. So this type of event you can create to keep continuously checking something. So there are many different situations that you can keep check some different activities. I hope it is clear to you. Hello guys, is it okay? Okay, good. So these are different events. Okay, this one I already show you that we can access different. Yeah, the timer I already show you. Okay, one last time I think I show you this demo, that how to validate user input using JavaScript. So actually we can do that one also like this. Okay, validation is a very important aspect in HTML. So for example, if I create my form.html, another file I'm creating. Okay, so for this again HTML, let's create the template first. Okay, inside this template, this time I just want to create a table that the form will be in a very nice format. So okay, let's suppose Control Z. Okay, so form. So the point of this demo is to check user input, to validate user input using JavaScript. Okay, now I'm creating a form, but I'm creating this form inside a table because then it will be nicely aligned. Okay, so here in this here I'm creating one TD, and in this TD will be the last time, if you remember, we used the label, but the table one is I think a bit easier. So username, okay, or maybe one word, username. So one TD, another TD. In this TD, we will put the input box, the typing. So input type equal to text. Okay. Now I want to give a specific name to this input field. Name equal to you can give any name. For example, you name. Okay, you name. You can give ID also if you want. Okay, but I think a name is enough. Now I want to create another column or TD just for text purpose. Okay, and this I don't want to display anything here, but I want to give a specific ID to this. ID equal to, let's suppose, a message. So here I want to display different messages. Okay, but if you see here within this column, I'm not displaying anything. I will display something later on through JavaScript. Okay, so the same thing I want to repeat for password. Copy and paste. So this one should be password and type equal to password. Name equal to password. Okay, here I don't want to create the ID again because at that time I just want to use for JavaScript. Okay, lastly, I want to create a button only. So this one empty, this one nothing. So this one input type equal to submit, just a button. Okay, its name equal to submit. Okay, and its value equal to let's suppose save. Okay, save this one. Let's see this page in the browser. Yeah, so using using this HTML page, we have a username, we have a password field, and then a button. So if you want to validate what the user actually typing, so you can apply a different HTML, so different JavaScript techniques to check it. So how to access to individual field, and then how to check its internal content. Okay, for that purpose we can apply JavaScript. So this is, I think I should use the same DOM JavaScript. Okay, let me just copy from here. I will modify the same one. So my form here at the end of the body, I will script the same DOM JavaScript. Okay, so now I want to modify. Oh, yeah, I want to modify the same JavaScript. No need to create again and again. So here I will give comments to validate the user input. Okay, so the point is that we are validating the user input here. Okay, then for validating we need to access. Okay, we need to reach out this field which is a username. Okay, so what I have given ID, I have given name. Oh, I have given name, but I didn't give name to the form, I didn't give name to the table. So you see the problem is like this: the hierarchy don't have names, but here I give a name. So then the easy way that I should give ID. Okay, ID equal to uh, ID equal to, let's suppose, username, uname. Okay, so why I change to ID? Because if I want to access this one to a username, to a name, then I should have to go through, you see, it's under the tier, it's under the table, it's under the form, then I will have to go through the hierarchy. But the problem is that I didn't give name to table, I didn't give name to form, I didn't give name to the tier. So the easy way to give ID to this. Okay, then using ID, just we can easily access, because ID is a unique. So what ID I give to its uname? Okay, let's copy this. So in JavaScript, variable were let's suppose the same uname equal to document get element by ID, and it is the uname. Okay, now in this case, okay, now we get access to that field, and that access that is stored in this uname variable. So using this uname variable, now we can check the content of that field. Okay, so whatever the content the user type, actually we can check in real time, so then we can display any messages, and we can check anything. So one way that how, you see, when the user is typing something, so that is, it means the user is changing some contents. Okay, contents of the user is typing something, and that is that is input to the field. Okay, so let's give event. Okay, give event to this input field, and that is what on input. Okay, on input we need to call some function. You can give any name to that function. Let's suppose run me or my function or whatever you want to give. Okay, it's up to you. And then semicolon, save it. Now you will have to use the same name that you give here. Okay, even small letter, all these matters. So copy this one and then come to this one, and here let's define the function this one, and inside this function we can apply. So you see, it's linked like this, that in the form we apply this event. So when this form is displayed in a page, so if someone is typing, inputting something, so event will occur. So when the event occur, that is input event. Okay, and during this input event, actually we can check in JavaScript whatever we want, because during that time we can call a function, and the function will we can check whatever we want. Okay, so in this function, actually, now let's suppose check like this, that if the content, okay, the content of what, of this uname, okay, uname dot value. Okay, so the value is the content. Okay, and the content length. Okay, so you see all these are the different functions. So the length sorry, yeah, length, if the length is less than 3, okay, less than 3, you can apply any criteria that you want. That if this is less than 3, then what you do, we can display any message. Okay, but the message should be displayed where? Okay, for this purpose you also have to specify. You should have a clear idea. This message, I want to display some message for the user, but that message will be displayed where? So this is why, if you remember, in the form, okay, I have given to this column one ID and I didn't display anything here. So this ID I will use for the message purpose. Okay, and here we can use the same thing, like where message, okay, message equal to document element by ID, and the same document that we want to access, and its ID is message. Okay, why I want to access this one? Because actually here I want to display some messages. Okay, so that message will be displayed here. So now I have access to that column, and now if I have access to that column, so I can display something. So message dot inner HTML. Okay, so inner HTML will be the text that I want to display. So what text I want to display? So the condition is that if the input value of the field is less than 3, then you display something. So normally we display something like this that needs more text, or whatever you want. Okay, you can display actually whatever message you want. Okay, so let's save this one and let's check that is it working. Yeah, so this one is the live server that last time I showed you to the plugin. If you just click go live, it will automatically display. So you see here, if I type something, so you see now the input is less than 3, then the message is displayed, and the color, the background, everything, and all these things you see we have explained here in the class. We have done. You see the message should be need more text if it is less than 3, and the message color should be red, and the input type background should also be red, and the text color inside the input should be white. Okay, so it's the same thing. Actually, my Mac was having some problem if I have some permission issue, so cannot access. Otherwise, the coding is 100% same. Okay, so if it is less than 3, then you see it will be 6. So if it became more than, you see, if equal to 5, you see, when it becomes equal to 5, then its color will be, text will be changed to this color, will change to green, and the background color will also change to green, and the background, the text color of the input field will be white. So the point is that actually we can check user input in real time, and we can validate. So validate means that you can check if it is less or equal to more than something. You can apply some other operations. So in real time, we can check the user input and validate it. This is called user validation. So for example, if it is more than this, so then it will be like this. Okay, so I'm quickly explaining. The point is that you should have ID for the field and that you want to access using JavaScript, and you should apply some what is called that event. Okay, so maybe input event, maybe unclick event. So you see this field is not clickable. This is input field because user can type something. So the best way that you put an input, you can put an change, okay, and modify and focus, different events are there. So then you will have to call the function, okay, and this function, if you see here, you will must define the same function here, okay, and because this function will be called from the JavaScript. So uname, it is already there. So uname.value.length, okay, so you can access the fields through the name or through ID. But if you want to access through name, then you will have to keep the hierarchy, okay, like grandfather, then father, and like this. So it's a bit difficult. The easy way to use directly by ID. Hopefully this is not complicated. Hello guys, is it okay? Is it okay? Okay, good. Okay, so I think after this, what left? Let me go to the slides. Yeah, this one I did. Okay, one thing very quickly. You see, when we have a JavaScript and when we have HTML files, actually in a professional website, there will be hundreds and thousands of pages, and all the web pages and the JavaScript will have a lot of comments, a lot of spaces. Okay, so the browser will have to access everything and compile everything. So it affects the speed of the loading of the pages. My point is that if the JavaScript and the HTML code have a lot of comments and a lot of blank spaces in there, because we are typing a different line, so it will slow down the web pages. Okay, so to make faster the web pages, the loading time, to make faster, there is a website which is called this one, Minify code. Okay, so if you go to this website, Minify code. Okay, let's start this one. Yeah, you see here what is Minify. It actually removes, you see, if remove the character, the white spaces, all these things, and it speed up. You see, it reduces the size by this much, and then after that the website will run faster. Okay, and it will be highly optimized. So what to do and how to do with this? So you see, if we open our JavaScript, so you see here I am copying all this JavaScript coding. Okay, copy it and come to this and click this JavaScript minifier. So I will paste all my coding. You see, all the JavaScript coding is there. Okay, and after that I will click minify. So you see, all the JavaScript code was converted to this type JavaScript. Okay, why? Because all the comments, all the white spaces, all these things are removed from that one. So you see, if I copy this coding and paste in my, you see, I'm replacing all this code by only one line of JavaScript. You see, like this type. Okay, save it. Okay, and after that, if I run my web page, the previous web page, this one, refresh it, you see, it will still work. Yeah, still work even faster than that. Okay, why? Because we minify the JavaScript. Okay, so this is the way how to minify the JavaScript. Minify means to speed up, to highly optimize for running. So I will just, okay, after that, if you, this is not easy to read, okay, and not easy to understand. For reading purpose, you can convert back. Okay, and that one is what? JavaScript beautifier. Okay, so click this step and space the same, put the same coding, and then click this one. You see, it will convert the coding to the same style that was previously. Okay, so here I will just undo everything. Okay, so this one is JavaScript beautifier and minifier. The same goes for CSS minifier and CSS mini. Yeah, so the point is that if you are designing a web page and finally when you finalize everything, your JavaScript, your CSS, your HTML code, then finally you should go through this minifier. Then your website will be quite faster. Okay, next one is JS Let's go to this. This web page, website is actually checking the errors in your JavaScript. Okay, so if let's suppose we copy a function here, let's suppose this function if I copy and paste in this one, okay, and then get it. Yeah, this one it says that you are using this variable using the u name, but it is undefined, undeclared. Of course, you see in this function it is undeclared, but in my JavaScript it is declared above. So this is why you see if you want to check your JavaScript, you see it highlight for you and it gives all the details. Okay, so if you want to check errors in your JavaScript coding, then this website you can use.